sounds like the pages of a spy thriller, but authorities say this actually happened right here in New York City. Her alleged victim telling us how she narrowly escaped death.
There are many cases of murder, like using weapons and causing physical harm, but have you heard of someone's weapon of choice being a cheesecake? This story is about a Russian woman who is considered extremely ruthless, arrogant, cunning, and let's not forget, dangerous. Viktoria Nasyrova is a 47-year-old Russian woman who is currently facing trial in the boroughs of Queens, New York. She was caught trying to murder her doppelganger, Olga Svik, in the borough of Queens, New York. A private investigator, Herman Weisberg, who was on her case, studies her and describes Viktoria as manipulative and a menace to society. Viktoria has been involved in many other cases too, such as drugging her victims, robbery, kidnapping, and murder. Olga Svik, another Russian woman, had a strong resemblance with Viktoria. Nasyrova allegedly targeted Olga as part of her sinister identity theft plot. The resemblance between the two women played a significant role in Nasyrova's plan, as she intended to assume Olga's identity for her own purposes. The two Russian immigrants met at a salon in Forest Hills, Queens, where Olga worked as a stylist at the salon and met Viktoria. Viktoria would visit the salon often for different beauty treatments. Because of their striking resemblance to one another, the two women struck up a connection and became friends. Little did she know, it was because of this resemblance, Olga would be Viktoria's next target. One day, Viktoria visited Svik's apartment and explained she wouldn't be able to meet up at the salon today because she had some errands to run and was facing some kind of scheduling conflict. To make up for it, she showed up with a deadly gift, a box of cheesecake that she said was from a famous bakery around the block. Viktoria was smart enough to eat 2 pieces of the cake herself to show that there was nothing wrong with the dessert, and it was completely harmless to get away with not having to face any consequences. She then offered a slice to Svik, which was cleverly laced with a powerful tranquilizer called phenazepam. Now this drug is extremely powerful and can make you go to sleep within minutes. If you consume lots of it, then it can also cause a heart attack. Olga ate the poisonous piece that was given to her, and it's reported she vomited 20 minutes after eating the cake and kept feeling sick throughout the night. The next day, Nasyrova returned to Svik's apartment, but this time came back with a chicken soup. It looked like a really nice gesture, but this time the soup made her slip into a coma. The prosecutors found out that Nasyrova staged the scene to make it look like Olga attempted suicide, and Viktoria poisoned both the soup and the cheesecake with phenazepam. When Viktoria saw that there was no way Olga could survive this, she left her initial attempt for murder with the things she wanted. Olga was found on the floor by her friend, who came to her apartment the following day. Concerned about Olga's well-being and the unusual circumstances, the friend immediately called for help. When she found Olga unconscious and saw pills scattered around the bed, the friend likely realized that something was seriously wrong and suspected foul play rather than a suicide attempt. Seeing the situation at hand, she came forward and informed them about the suspicious circumstances surrounding Olga's condition. Olga stayed at the hospital for 3 days, and during her stay was closely monitored and checked to receive medical treatment to stabilize her condition. Fortunately, Svik started to regain consciousness and gradually recovered from the effects of the poisoning and began to come out of her coma. Olga started to regain her strength and recalled certain details about the incident. She remembered Nasyrova going through her belongings while she was laying on the floor and told the authorities that Viktoria tried to kill her. Olga's health wasn't the only thing that Viktoria tried to steal. Viktoria stole several different items from her apartment, like Olga's Ukrainian passport, her U.S. work permit, clothes, and jewelry. The stolen jewelry and other valuables were reportedly sold for an estimated total of around $100,000. Olga losing her work permit was the worst thing that could affect her long term, because this can have severe consequences on her immigration status and ability to continue working legally in the United States. This wasn't the first time Viktoria Nasyrova committed a crime either. Weisberg's investigation showed she had murdered a woman back in Russia too, and is now an international fugitive. In November 2014, Nadezhda Ford, the daughter of Alla Alexenko, went to the authorities to tell them that her mother was missing. This raised some concerns about her whereabouts. This report marked the official start of the investigation into Alla Alexenko's case, and what was later discovered is horrifying. The authorities went on with their search and finally found Alla Alexenko dead in a car that belonged to none other than Viktoria Nasyrova. The authorities knew where to look from camera feeds because one of the traffic cameras captured video footage showing Nasyrova's car with the deceased body of Alexenko visibly positioned in the passenger seat. This evidence was enough to prove Nasyrova's involvement in Alexenko's death. When the remains of Alla Alexenko, the mother of Nadezhda Ford, were discovered in Viktoria Nasyrova's car, the biggest challenge was trying to identify the body. Not much of it was left, which meant that the method of visual recognition wasn't possible. To identify the body, dental scans were taken and analyzed by forensic experts, and by finding a match between the dental characteristics, they were able to confirm the identity of the deceased as Alla Alexenko. Officials needed to understand why she murdered Alla and found out that by killing Alla, Viktoria could potentially gain control over the funds and use them for her gain. Alla became her target to gain access to a sum of money, and through Alla, she was able to gather approximately $53,000 from selling her late mother's home in Krasnodar, Russia. After getting the money to ensure her safety, Viktoria decided to flee Russia, making her an international fugitive. Relocating to another country, Viktoria thought it would make it a lot more difficult for law enforcement officers to track her down. During her time in Sheepshead Bay, Nasyrova tried to blend in and maintain a low profile. However, her actions eventually drew the attention of private investigator Herman Weisberg, who had been hired by Alexenko's daughter to track her down and bring justice. To catch Viktoria Nasyrova, Nadezhda Ford hired a private investigator, Herman Weisberg, to bring Viktoria to court so she could answer for all the crimes she's committed. Private investigators like Weisberg often work closely with clients, in this case, Nadezhda Ford, to understand the circumstances, gather relevant details, and develop a strategy to locate the person of interest. To track her down, Weisberg used different techniques, but what worked was tracking her down through her social media presence, which helped him set up his surveillance plan. Herman Weisberg most likely used her social media accounts, such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and started analyzing her posts to see what her activities and interests are along with her current location. That is how he discovered she settled down in Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn, where she kept a low profile to avoid capture. In March 2017, Viktoria was arrested and taken to court. She denied everything and was put on a lie detector test about her neighbor's death, but ultimately she failed. She was later charged with attempted murder and sentenced to 25 years in prison. What do you think about this case? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed today's video, then make sure to leave us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to always be updated with the most exciting content as soon as it's uploaded. Thanks for watching, and see you again in another video.